The story begins by showing a boy named Orion who has a lot of fears in his life. He is afraid of dogs, darkness, and even talking to his class fellows. He feels that if he flushes in the washroom, there will be a flood in the world. And if he leaves his closet open at night, then he will lock his house with him. He had written all his fears in a diary. When the teacher asks him to go on a trip, he refuses because he is afraid of going on a trip. At that time, Orion's friend, whom he liked, comes to him and says that you are going on a trip, right? I will sit with you on the trip. These things had blown his mind. He had been wanting to tell this to his friend for a long time, but today his friend had told him himself. But still, he could not go on the trip because his fear was not allowing him to go on the trip. When he goes home, Orion's parents also ask him to go on a trip. And they explain that there is fear in doing every new work, but we have to do that work to remove our fear. Orion's biggest fear was darkness. He could not even sleep in the dark. Because of this, his parents were also fed up with him. They tell Orion that today you will have to sleep after defeating your fear. Because we are also sleepy and we also need peace. After his departure, Orion tries a lot not to be afraid. But as the darkness was increasing, the fear of Orion was also increasing. There comes a time when Orion gets tired of being afraid. And then he says to the darkness that you are very bad. You scare the children. Go away from my life. After hearing so much bad, the darkness also feels bad. And he really becomes a ghost and comes to Orion's house. He says to Orion, that's enough. Although many people are afraid of me, but I am afraid of you because you say very bad to me every day. Even in the list of cowards, you are at the top. Orion was still shocked. He did not understand that is the darkness talking to him. And when he understood this, the darkness tells Orion that I am really like an ordinary person who is just doing his job. But still I don't know why no one likes me. Even everyone hates me. No one tries to understand me. And all these things hurt my heart. Hearing this, Orion was feeling bad for the darkness, believing that Orion was really talking to the darkness. Orion tells the darkness that I don't want to be afraid either. But I don't know how to end this habit of mine. The darkness says to him, oh, thank God. Then I won't have to hear your scary voices every night. Anyway, Orion's point was how to stop being afraid. Then an idea comes to the mind of the darkness for Orion. He says, why don't you come with me one day and see how people like me do their job at night? Maybe by doing this, you will stop being afraid of all these things. Orion thinks this idea of darkness is a flop, on which the darkness says to him that it's up to you. I'm going, but you have your whole life ahead of you. If you want to live in fear, then stay that way. Hearing this, all his fears came in front of Orion's eyes. And then he decides to go with the darkness in a minute. Darkness flies away with Orion. Cutting the scene, we are now shown the scene of the future, where Orion has grown up and he is telling all this story to his daughter. Because just like Orion, his daughter was also very afraid of the darkness. Orion starts telling the story again, where at this time, the darkness was telling the little Orion, look, there are so many things that the darkness makes beautiful. Like fireflies, these lights shining in the sky. This is where Orion sees that behind the darkness, the light was also doing its job. And because he liked everything, he was also a little proud. Anyway, the darkness now brings him to people who work at night like him. Orion sees that sleep was making people sleep in a very strange and poor way, because of which he starts getting angry at sleep. Seeing Orion's leg in his work, sleep scolds both darkness and Orion, after which the darkness takes him to the sleep, which gives tension to the sleeping people in their own voices and wakes them up from sleep. Seeing him work, Orion says, okay, so you are the one because of whom I can't sleep all night. Hearing bad about himself, sleep also scolds him from here. After that, both of them go to Silent, whose job was to create peace for everyone at night by eating the noise of the whole world. Seeing so much silence here, Orion's heart starts to tremble. And he screams loudly, man, I don't even want so much silence. Screaming ruins the work of silence. And he also scolds both of them from here. After which the darkness takes Orion to the scary voice. When he sees that the scary voice is scaring the children, he also interferes with his work. And when his work is ruined, the scary voice also scolds both of them and leave. After which the darkness takes Orion to the steppe. He had his own world. He used to go to everyone's dreams at night and get them to do the work they desired and could not do in real life. Orion was in someone's mind to see the world of dreams at this time. And the scary things going on in Orion's mind also wake that girl up by scaring her. Thus, the The dream gets angry at Orion and they both leave again. Orion was very worried and sad because of all these things. He was lost in his own thoughts when the darkness tells him, "Let me tell you something. You have finished your fear. Look, you are not afraid of me now." And Orion is very happy to realize this. And then he starts enjoying the night with the darkness. Along with that, he also became a friend of other people like the darkness and helping them in their work at night. The night was over. All these people now go for a tea break. And then the light comes here. The light says to the darkness that I will reach you in 3 seconds. If you want to survive, then go from here immediately. The darkness gets angry with this arrogant way of the light. But anyway, he now goes somewhere else with his companions to play the magic of his night. Because the day had come here. These people stay in a village. The darkness goes into a small house to show his work. But now Orion starts to be afraid of the darkness again. All these people ask him, "What are you afraid of now?" Orion says, "I am not afraid of anyone. I just want to say that I like the light more. The day has its own fun. And maybe you never felt it. There are a lot of colors in the day. And because you live with the darkness, you are not able to enjoy all that." Orion says, "I also like the darkness a lot, because it is very good for the heart. But yes, as long as you are with the darkness, you are missing everything that can be seen in the light." The darkness had heard all these things, and now he gets angry with Orion, because he had done so much for Orion. And Orion was still supporting the light. Here we find out that all the other companions of the night had also decided to support the light. That is, now they wanted to go in the day. Because of which the darkness gets even more depressed. Seeing the darkness sad, Orion decides that he will convince the companions of the darkness to stay with the darkness. But now he was not going to listen. Orion's words had settled in his mind, and now he wanted to see the colors of the day with the light. In this way, the poor darkness is left alone. He says to Orion, "What is the fun of the night now? Neither will anyone sleep, nor will anyone dream. And when you go, what will I do? Will I keep flying alone like this? Now, because no one likes me, I have decided that I will kill myself. I will sit here and wait for the light. And as soon as the light comes, it will kill me." It was about to be morning. The light was spreading all over. Orion says to the darkness, "Let's go from here quickly." But he does not listen to him, and the light kills him in a few minutes, after which the scene is cut. And we reach the future of Orion, where he was telling this story to his daughter. His daughter says to Orion, "Dad, what happened?" This is where the story ended. And this ending is not good at all. Orion replies, "I don't understand anything beyond this." Orion's daughter tells him that I can also make a new ending to this story. Why don't I go to your past? As soon as he says this, the scene starts again from where the darkness had killed himself. At this time, little Orion was sad. Then a girl comes to him, and she says, "I know all your stories." That girl says, "Look, it's not night, no one is able to sleep. Everyone is tired. And now it is very important for the night to come. It is very important for the darkness to come and for the rest of the people at night to come. And I have a way to call them all." This little girl reads a poem to call everyone at night. With this poem, everyone comes to her. But Orion says, "How will you bring the darkness? The darkness is over." To which the girl replies, "No, the darkness is still alive. That too in your memories. We will get it out of your memories. And for this, we will need everyone else." All of them start their work together. Silence creates peace by eating all the noise here. After which sleep makes Orion sleep well. After which the dream takes the little girl and goes into the brain of Orion. And it takes Orion to the time when he met the darkness. These two are very happy to meet each other. But here too, Orion's fear of going into the closet spoils everything. And before Orion gets into any trouble, the dream quickly comes out of his mind. And wakes up and says, "Wake up, Orion, quickly." Even after waking up here and trying a lot, when Orion does not wake up, silence tells Orion that if you wake up here, you will miss your trip with your friend. As soon as he hears this, he wakes up. And now finally, these people had brought the darkness back into this world from Orion's mind. As soon as the darkness comes into this world, everyone breathes peace again. Even the light was feeling happy on the arrival of the darkness. Now the people of this world had also been appreciated by the darkness. Together with the darkness, all his companions spread the magic of peace. And everyone comes to peace. After which the darkness becomes sad again, because he knew that in the future he would never be able to meet Orion in this form. Orion now hugs the darkness. After which the darkness disappears from here. Orion quickly comes home with this little girl. And when he comes home, This girl tells him that I came from the future to help you. You are my dad. Hearing this, Orion was a little surprised, but now he goes to his parents. Orion's parents ask who this girl is, on which Orion lies and says that she is my friend, and immediately takes her to his room. Now these two were worried that how will Orion's daughter go back to the future. That's when a boy comes to them from the window, who immediately takes this girl in his time machine and takes her back to the future. Now who is this boy? This boy was Orion's grandson. This is not the son of Orion's daughter. Actually, this story of meeting Orion's darkness. Now Orion's daughter was telling her son, and that's why he came to the future to take his mom. Here we are also shown the old Orion, who asks his daughter, has your daughter thought of any ending to this story? And his daughter replies, yes, Dad. He thought and thought very well. He brought me back to the future through the time machine. And so your story of that darkness was completed. In the last scene of the movie, we are also shown Orion's wife. This is the same girl who liked Orion since childhood. And Orion had also married her. We know that the trip Orion was afraid of. After all his fears were over, he also went on that trip with his friend. And he had a lot of fun too. While telling about them, the movie ends here.